Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let us start. Today, we shall discuss about classification of manufacturing industries. Remember, we have been learning Chapter 6, secondary activities of our NCERT textbook, Fundamentals of Human Geography. Now, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen, boys and girls?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, let us start with this topic, classification of manufacturing industries. Yesterday, we have discussed about factors influencing industrial locations. And now let us learn about the different types of industries across the world. Generally, manufacturing industries are classified on the basis of size, input, or the raw materials, output, or the products, and the ownership. In the lower classes, also in class 10, also we have learned about the classification of industries. So now let us revise. Uh, Here, see, this uh, chart shows the classification of industries. See here, based on say based on the size, industries are classified into cottage or household industries, small scale industries, and the large scale industries. So based on the size, we have three types of industries. And again, on the basis of inputs or the raw material used here, industries are classified into five types here: agro-based industries, then mineral-based industries, chemical-based industries, forest-based, and animal-based industries. And here we have examples of agro-based industries here: sugar mills, edible oil, cotton textile, coffee, tea, rubber. All these are examples of agro-based industries. And mineral-based industries are again subdivided into metallic and non-metallic. Metallic means which contain metal, non-metallic which do not contain metal. Say, for example, cement industry, pottery. These are example of non-metallic industries. Metallic industries are again subdivided into ferrous and non-ferrous. That is, which contain iron, which do not involve iron. So we have iron steel industry as an example of ferrous, and others like copper smelting, aluminum, gems, and jewelry. These are examples of non-ferrous industries. And here we have some examples of chemical-based industries like petrochemical industry, plastic industry, synthetic textiles industries, salt, then chemical fertilizers. So these are some examples of chemical-based industries. Then some examples of forest-based industries are these timber, lead, then turpentine, then paper industries. Animal-based industries, we have examples, leather, then woolen textiles. And next, on the basis of output or product, industries are classified into basic and consumer goods industries. So we have example of iron steel industry uh, as a basic industry. Then some examples of consumer goods industries are biscuit industry, then textile industry, then vehicle industries, automobile industries like cars, scooters, cycles manufacturing. Last but not the least, on the basis of ownership, we have three types of industries given here: public sector, then private sector, then joint sector. So these are the different types of industries on various bases. So now let us go in detail. Here, uh, industries based on size. So the amount of capital invested, number of workers employed, and the volume of production determine the size of the industry. The size of the industry is determined by the amount of capital invested, number of workers, how many workers employed, and the volume of production, the quantity of production, determine the size of the industry. Accordingly, as we discussed earlier, we have three types of industries based on size: household or cottage industry, small scale industry, and a large scale industry. Now let us find the characteristics of these industries. Let us find out the characteristics and the meaning of the household industries or cottage industries or manufacturing. So household industries or cottage manufacturing industries is the smallest manufacturing unit. Okay, so household industry is the smallest manufacturing unit. The artisans use local raw materials and simple tools to produce everyday goods in their homes with the help of family members or part-time labor. So these are the important characteristics of these cottage industries. Number one characteristic is that it is the smallest manufacturing unit. The second one, cottage industries use local raw materials. Then these industries use simple tools to produce everyday goods in their homes with the help of family member or a part-time labor. The finished products may be for consumption in the same household or for sale in the local markets or for barter, that is for the exchange of the commodities. So these are the important characteristics of these cottage industries or household industries. Say this is an example, okay, a man making pots in the courtyard. So this is an example of household industry in Nagaland. Then this is another example, okay, a man weaving a bamboo basket by roadside in Arunachal Pradesh. So this is another example of this cottage industry or craft industry. And let us continue. Some common everyday products produced in this sector of manufacturing include these foodstuff, fabrics, mats, containers, tools, furniture, shoes, figurines from wood, lot and the forest, then shoes, tongs, that is belt, okay, leather belt, then other articles from leather, then pottery and the bricks from clays and the stones, goldsmiths make jewelry of gold, silver, and bronze. So all these are examples of the cottage industries. If it is manufactured, if it is made in the houses, okay, using simple tools and implements. Next, we have small scale manufacturing. This is another type of industries based on size. So small scale manufacturing is distinguished from the household industries by its production technique and a place of manufacture. So the main difference between cottage industry and the small scale manufacturing is that in the case of small scale manufacturing, the manufacturing is done in a workshop. Okay, the manufacturing is done in a workshop outside the home or the cottage of the producer. In case of small-scale manufacturing, the processing, the manufacturing, or the making of things, goods are done in a workshop outside the home or cottage. So this is the main difference. This type of manufacturing also uses locally available raw material, then simple power-driven machines, then semi-skilled labor. So small-scale manufacturing employs semi-skilled labor. Okay, and so it provides employment and raises local purchasing power in the localities. So here, this is another example of these cottage industries in Assam. Okay, the products are selling here. These cannon bamboo wax, then other artifacts are sold here. Then we have the third type of industries based on size, that is large scale manufacturing. So large scale manufacturing involves large market, a big market, various raw materials, enormous energy, specialized worker, division of labor is there. In the previous class, we have discussed about the characteristics of large scale manufacturing. So please recollect. Advanced technology, automation is there. Okay, automation is there, then mechanization is there, then assembly line mass production is there, then large capital is involved in case of large scale manufacturing. And here the number of workers is also very big. Okay, sometimes reaching up to 10,000 20,000 workers. So this kind of manufacturing developed in the last 200 years. Okay, in United Kingdom, then northeastern USA, Europe, and now it has been diffused in different parts of the world. As I see here, figure number the 6.4. So this is a photograph of large-scale manufacturing industry. So this is an example of assembly line mass production. Okay. So passenger car assembly hires at a plant or motor company in Japan. Up to here, any question, boys and girls? Any question, boys and girls?
No, sir.
Okay. And so on the basis of system of large-scale manufacturing, the world major industries, industrial regions may be grouped under two broad types. So on the basis of system of large-scale manufacturing, the world major industrial regions can be grouped under two broad types. The first one is traditional large-scale industrial regions, which are thickly clustered in a few more developed countries. Another one is high technology large-scale industrial regions, which have diffused to less developed countries. So this will be discussed in detail later on. Next, we have another classification based on inputs or the raw material. Okay, and so here we have agro-based industries. You know, agro-based industries are industries using agricultural products as a raw material, as you have learned earlier. So agro-processing involves processing of raw material from the field and from the farm into finished products from rural and urban markets. So major agro-processing industries are food processing, then sugar mills, pickle, then fruit juices, beverages, that is making of tea, coffee, cocoa. Okay, tea industry, coffee industry, cocoa industry, then spices, oil, fat, textiles, maybe cotton textiles, jute textiles, silk textiles, then rubber. All these are examples of agro-based industries because these industries use agricultural products as the raw material. Next, we have food processing. Okay, food processing include canning. That is canning. You know, that is storing of this food in cans. and then producing creams, then fruit processing, confectionery, making of sweets, okay, eatable items. Then some preserving techniques such as drying, then fermenting, pickling have been known since ancient times. This had limited applications to cater the pre-industrial revolution demands, and nowadays it is also mechanized. Okay, and production is done on a large scale. This photograph shows tea garden and a tea factory. So this is the tea factory, and so this is the tea garden in Nilgiri Hills in Tamil Nadu. Before we proceed to the next type of industries based on input, let us read this box. Agribusiness. So this is a new term. Okay, agribusiness is a commercial farming on industrial scale, often financed by business whose main interests lie outside agriculture. Agribusiness is a type of commercial farming, okay, run by businessmen, and their interests lie outside agriculture. That is, the main uh, interest is to supply the raw material to the factories. Say, for example, large corporations in tea plantations business. Then this is an example: large corporation in tea plantations. Then agribusiness farms are mechanized. So such type of farms are mechanized, means machines are used. Then large in size, the farm size is big, more than 200 hectares, for example. Then highly structured, okay, managerial activities are there. Then reliant on chemicals, then uses chemicals, and sometimes it is termed as agro factories also. Okay, then Uh, then the second type of this industry based on the raw material is the mineral based industries. You know, industries which use minerals as a raw material are known as mineral based industries. We have discussed so many examples above. Okay, ferrous industries like iron steel industries, non-ferrous like aluminum, copper, jewelry. Okay, non-metallic like cement, pottery. Next, we have chemical-based industries. So industries using natural chemicals. Say, for example, mineral oil, petroleum is used in petrochemical industry. This is an example. Then salt industries, sulfur, potash industries use natural mineral. These are another examples. Okay. And chemical industries are also based on the raw materials obtained from the wood and the coal. That is, chemicals obtained from wood. Say, for example, turpentine also there, solvent. Okay, then coal. From the coal also we get chemicals. So some of the chemical industries also obtain raw material from wood and coal. Synthetic fiber, then plastics. These are also other examples of chemical-based industries. Next, we have forest-based raw material industries. See, forests provide many major and minor products which are used as a raw material. Timber for furniture, for example. Timber for, see here, timber for furniture industry. Then wood, bamboo, and grass for paper industry. For the paper and the pulp industry here. This is an example of pulp industry, that is paper industry. Then lac for lac industries. Okay, all these are obtained from the forest. You know lac. Do you know lac? See, lac is a resinous substance. Okay, lac is a resinous substance secreted by an insect called lac. So I will show you a photograph here. So this is a photograph showing lac tubes. Okay, created by Carrier laca, a type of insect. And see this one. So these are the resins secreted by these female lac bug on trees, and is processed and sold as a dry flax. I think you are seeing lac here as a dry flax. So all these are obtained from the lac insect, okay, secreted by these lac insects. And this is C. This is one here. This is the process of collecting turpentine. Okay, turpentine, turpentine is a fluid obtained by distillation of resin harvested from living trees, mainly from pines. See here in this case, the bark of the pine tree is peel off, okay, and here we are putting one container here, and the fluid is collected here. The fluid is collected here. I think you may be seeing here. Here this portion is removed, peel off, and here the fluid is collected here in this jar, and it is processed and distilled to get the turpentine, and it is used in the different ways, okay. Just see here, I'll show you the product. So this is the distilled turpentine, okay, manufactured in a forest based industry. And next we have animal based industries. So leather for leather industry, then wool for woolen textiles are obtained from the animals, as you know. Then besides we have ivory, okay, obtained from the elephant tusks. Then next we have industries based on output or the product. We have two types here. One is the basic industry. Here another one is the consumer goods industry. See, we have learned that iron and steel industry is a basic industry. The raw material for such other machines, okay, the raw material for uh, machines and the tools. Actually, when we manufacture machines and tools, we use iron and steel, and which itself is an industry. And the industry whose products are used to make other goods by using them as raw material are the basic industries, and that is why iron and steel industry is a type of basic industry, because all the other industries use machines and tools, okay, manufactured by the iron steel industry, hence it is known as a basic industry. You may read this link, okay, iron steel, then from iron steel machines are manufactured for textile, then these textile industries again manufacture cloths for use by the consumer. So another type of industry based on the output is the consumer goods industries which produce goods, okay, which are consumed by the people directly. For example, say industries producing bread and biscuits, then tea industry, shop industry, toiletries, then paper for writing, television, making of mobile phones. All these are example of these consumer goods industries. And last but not the least, we have industries based on ownership. Here in our textbook, only three types of industries based on ownership are given. The first one is public sector industries. Here, public sector industries are owned and managed by the governments. In India, there are a number of public sector undertakings. Okay, so socialist countries have many state-owned industries, and mixed economies have both public and private, like India. Okay, in case India has mixed economies, and we have public as well as private sector industries. So we have examples of public sector industries like these VAL, that is Bharat Heavy Engineering Limited. We have another example like SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited. So all these are public sector undertakings in India. Then the second type of industries based on ownership is the private sector industries. So these are the industries owned by individual investors. So these are managed by private organizations. In capitalist countries like USA, okay, industries are generally owned privately. Here in case of India, also we have private sector industries. We have example of private sector industry like Tisco, Tata Iron Steel Company. So this is in private sector. Then we have Bajaj Auto Limited. Okay, we have Bajaj Auto Limited. Then we have Dabur Industries. We have Dabur Industries. So all these are examples of private sector industries in India. And next we have joint sector industries. So these are the industries managed by joint stock companies or sometimes the private and the public sectors together. Establish and manage the industries. The government together with private individuals or group individuals establish and run industries. Such type of industries are known as joint sector industries. Say for example, we have Oil India Limited. Okay, this company Oil India Limited. So this is an example of joint sector industries. In the lower classes, you might have learn another type of industries based on ownership, like cooperative industries. Okay, run by a group of people. That is, industries run by the producers of the raw materials are known as cooperative industries. For example, sugar mills in Maharashtra, then coir industry in Kerala. All these are examples of cooperative industries. Any question, boys and girls?
No, sir.
So if you don't have questions, let us stop here for today. Thank you very much for joining my class. Thank you all.